Welcome back. The attacks on foreign nationals in and around Johannesburg has brought into question the ability of police to handle emergency situations. According to reports, police had no concrete plan on how to deal with last week's crisis. This is apparently due to infighting. Now, over 100 people were arrested. In fact, 400 people were arrested last week. For more on this, I'm joined by Pop Crew spokesperson Richard Mamabolo, a union that represents police officers. Mr. Mamabolo, thank you very much for joining us in our Durban studios. Are you able to tell us whether there is indeed infighting at the top of the police's crime intelligence unit?
Look, I think the issue of infighting has been ongoing since 2012, and currently, since we've got a new leadership, a permanent head, we think that the organization is on a mend, though there are still challenges, but it's something that's being worked on.
It's also being reported by a fellow union that organizes within the same sector as you. This is the South African Police Union, that the crime intelligence unit is on quote-unquote autopilot. Would you agree with that sentiment?
We do not necessarily agree that it's on autopilot. Like I said earlier on, the fact that there have been infightings, there have been a lot of challenges. What we are seeing now is obviously for the past 18 months since the change of leadership, we have seen measures that are being taken up to obviously ensure that the crime intelligence functions much better. But of course, we can agree that there has been obviously a resistance from within. And of course, we think that those are some of the things that would definitely need to be dealt with so that we have it fully functioning. It is, of course, I mean, there have been some incidents which have taken place in the recent past. For example, when you look at cash in transit heists, you know, currently there have been over 350 people arrested. You look at kidnappings, they've gone down. And of course, just last week, 15 people were arrested within the tracking fraternity. And of course, I think 2 weeks before then, a drug lab was exposed in Hammanskraal. So those are measures that have been taken by the crime intelligence. Though there might have been challenges with regards to what you would consider the attacks on foreigners, that does not necessarily mean that the intelligence is on autopilot. There have been certain actions being taken. But I'm saying again, we do admit that there have been challenges. And of course, it's not going to be taking a short space of time to deal with all those, because it's not an event, but it's a process. And of course, we have confidence that the current leadership within the crime intelligence is, of course, focused on ensuring that it gets back to its full functionality, because again, without intelligence, the police work would not necessarily be that easy.
Mr. Mamabolo, you have the advantage of interacting with police officers on the ground. Therefore, you are better placed to tell us whether indeed reports that we are reading that there is no concrete plan to deal with the mayhem that has to do with looting, violence and xenophobia that we're seeing in Gauteng. Are you aware of any concrete plan by the police to deal with this matter?
Naturally, the work of crime intelligence would not be something for public discussion, because they obviously need to ensure that their plans would obviously succeed. So we cannot be in a position to say whether there is a concrete plan or not. But what we do know up to so far is that there are definitely meetings that are currently going on. And by the way, you would remember that some of the actions have been sporadic, even though not all of them. And of course, I think one of the factors that has been detrimental in that is the use of social media, whereas you would have fake videos and images being circulated, therefore creating a wrong impression to other people who might then react on the basis of that information. So it is sometimes sporadic, and at times, of course, you can clearly see that those are planned actions. So the intelligence would obviously be working on that, but it would not necessarily be public information at the moment.
All right, Richard Mamabolo is the spokesperson for Police Union Pop Crew, live for us in our Durban studios. Let's remind